Captain America gets his revenge at the Worlds, and the Russians are coming. The Russians are coming. Well, at least one of them. And we'll tell you who on today's Locked On Mammoth.
You are Locked On Mammoth, your daily podcast on the Utah Mammoth, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome in once again to Locked On Mammoth. I'm veteran NHL voice Tom Callahan, joined by longtime team analyst Robyn Leaño. We are the duo that brings you the Locked On Mammoth podcast. We're with you every single day, right up through the draft, right up through free agency, and you're not going to get rid of us that easily. We'll still be around July, August, and into September as we get ready for training camp. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Robyn, this is an international show because we're going to talk about Captain America, Clayton Keller, getting his revenge at the World Championships. And we've got news coming out of the KHL, and we're going to talk about that as well. But first and foremost, Robyn, you've been talking about this for a while, but Clayton Keller snubbed from the Four Nations roster, left off, which I felt was a grave injustice. I think now we are seeing Clayton Keller not only have his revenge, but also showing even more why he is the man for the Utah Mammoth.
Right. No, it really is amazing. I mean, like, it goes to show a lot of different aspects here, Tom. It shows what we're seeing is that Utah picked the right man for captaincy, right? We're talking about seeing someone who's shown exemplary leadership throughout not just the Utah Mammoth, but also with Team USA. And he said he's just continuing just to play phenomenal at the world stage. You said it, right? He was snubbed off of the Four Nations roster. Got this chance to captain the World Championship roster, and I said it before, and I'll say it again. I know for sure his sights are set on the Winter Olympics 2026.
Absolutely, and Keller finished round robin play with 9 points, which was second on Team USA. Also, by the way, ties him for 8th among all players at the World Championships. And Logan Cooley, 8 points, by the way, ties him for 15th among all players at the World Championships. And we talked about the coming out party for Logan Cooley, but, Clayton Keller, again, doing this as captain of Team USA, leads Team USA actually to an even mark with Czechia. They tied essentially for second in Group B behind the Swiss, who, holy cow, the Swiss have been good. They've only allowed, I think, 9 goals the entire tournament. That's wild so far. But talking about Team USA and seeing so many players from the Utah Hockey Club, not only on Team USA, there's 4 of them there, but 7 overall at the World Championships. And they're playing well, Robyn. This is super encouraging.
It really is. It's super encouraging. Plus, I mean, like, you just take a look at how all the Utah players are playing, playing specifically. I've said it before on this show. I even said it on ESPN 700 in Salt Lake City just the other day, and I've said it. It gives me the level of confidence for this team to know that next year they're going into a situation where they very well could be or should be chasing, not could be, but should be chasing a playoff spot. Actually, should be even should get in the playoffs. To be quite frank, and just overall getting better, getting more confident, and finding what it takes to win high stakes games. I think that's the most important thing that a lot of these players need to learn is being able to win in high stakes games, because that's something that you just can't really teach. It's just something you just figure out.
Yeah, and at this point, is there, and the international stage is big, World Championships is big. I understand it's not the Olympics, but really, is there a world in which leaving Clayton Keller off Team USA for 2026 makes any sense at all?
No, absolutely not. If Team USA leaves Clayton Keller off of their roster for the 2026 Olympics in Milano Cortina, I will personally fly over to Colorado, which I think that's where Team USA Hockey for Olympics is based out of. I'll fly over there, knock on their door, and call them absolute, dumbasses, because that's what they are.
Yes, absolutely. By the way, congratulations to Josh Doan getting his first point of the tournament for Team USA. He scored on Veggie, and I understand that, Robyn, you are kind of working with the Josh Doan online fan club of sorts here.
Oh my God, I love it. I have stumbled upon the Doners. If you are listening to this and you are and you are one of the Doners, we love you guys. Enough so, in the next couple of shows, I will be carrying a can of Summer Edition Red Bull on the show, just to support you guys.
I love that. I absolutely love that. So very cool, and also great to see Donor get on the board,
Right?
And scoring on a rebound off edge. I mean, it's international competition. Sorry, buddy, but I had to put that one away. So, and the U.S. beats Czechia, which was a huge game. And Robyn, just to catch people up real quick on the way things did finish in the round robin play. The playoffs have worked out like this. So the U.S., which, as I mentioned, finished tied for second there with Czechia, will take on Finland in the quarters. Now, by the time you guys hear the show, if you're hearing it early in the morning, the game hasn't happened yet. But if you're hearing it later in the day, the game is either going on right now or may have happened already, depending on when you're listening to the show. But USA, Finland, and then the Swiss and the Austrians. And like I said, Switzerland's been incredible. But Switzerland and Czechia, Sweden and Czechia, going head-to-head in the quarters. That's going to be a good one. And then Canada and Denmark. So Germany didn't make it through. So not everybody wearing a Utah Hockey Club uniform made it through. But Robyn, that's going to be an exciting quarterfinal matchup there for the U.S. and Finland.
Oh, certainly it will be, right? I think it's, Finland's always been one of those. No, they've always been one of those tougher teams. They're not always in the quote powerhouse, but they make some name. They make a name for themselves. They can be a rough bunch, and it certainly will be a test for Team USA and for all the U-Times now who are wearing the USA jersey.
By the way, I just wanted to go back. The Swiss were 6-0-1-0, and they scored 34 goals, only allowed 9. Canada, who won Group A, scored 34 and only allowed 7. So that's crazy to me. USA and Czech both allowed 14 goals against, which is pretty good, but yeah, the Swiss have been incredible.
I mean, we all knew Canada was going to be a hard team to. It's a really hard team to get on. I mean, not only do they have Barrett Hayton, representing Team USA, but they have a lot of other just incredible hockey players on there. Like I'm not sure if you saw some of the highlights, Tom. You see a highlight of like some of the Macklin Celebrini goals, and I'm like, God, like it's stupid.
There's some talent out there, Robyn. There's definitely some talent, that's for sure. And Macklin Celebrini is definitely one of those talented kids out there. So it's a lot of fun to watch. If you do get a chance to watch, absolutely. And now it's 4:20 local time. I honestly don't know what time that is in our local time zone. I just know it's 4:20 p.m. over there. So I don't know what that works out to locally.
I want to say
8 hours, 9 hours.
I want to say it's 9 hours ahead. Yeah, I want to say it's 9 hours ahead.
Someone will have to plug that in. You'll have to plug it into the Google to figure that one out, or you can toss it in the comments below.
Just add it to your world clock on your smartphone.
There you go. Just put it in. It's 4:20 p.m. local time. So, all right, Robyn, I want to talk about the KHL title game because Locomotive has won the title. That means good things for a couple of Utah Mammoth prospects, and we've got some news after the conclusion of that KHL season. We'll tell you about it here in just a moment. And today's show is brought to you in part by FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and while the game's going on. With player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays, fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. Which players are showing up in the biggest moments, and how could tracking their trends maybe help you build your next bet? I know that Robyn likes to follow a lot of trends, and then you just kind of say, all right, well, what would this look like? What would that look like? Now you start combining those live prop bets in the middle of the game on how the action unfolds. And if you got a read on who's heating up, then you can back it up with the same game parlay. So, $200 in bonus bets would add to the excitement if you hit your first $5 bet, and that is what's going on right now. If you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, Tom Callahan, Robyn Leaño back here with you. Hey, if you're still here listening to the show, you like what you hear, please subscribe, whether it's the podcast side, anywhere you get your podcasts, or on YouTube. Thank you so much for being here. Also, we appreciate it if you give us a thumbs up on the YouTube side. Helps us with the algorithm, helps you as well, and that means a lot to us. Robyn, we're almost at 1,300, by the way, on the YouTube side. We're growing like a weed over here.
The last, I'll say, 22 days, because that's when the month started, right? The last 22 days, Tom, have been incredible for the growth of this show. And a lot of you guys have bought in at this point. Maybe you're just discovering us because it's the off season. You're craving that Utah hockey content. Well, I mean, we're glad to be here for you guys.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun seeing the growth, following the growth of the franchise and the fan base. And people are getting on board, and there's no better time to get on board than now because the team's going to be better next year. I can pretty much guarantee that the way things are going. So
yeah,
that's exciting.
Everything is coming along with how well some of these players are playing on the national stage, as well as how well a couple of guys played over in the biggest professional hockey league in Europe.
So for those who don't know the KHL, that's a great way to put it. The KHL is probably the second best league in the world. And that's not a huge debate, but you could try to make a case for a couple of the leagues. But I think the KHL is pretty incredible. It's NHL light. The first two lines, the top two lines on any team, even the worst teams, are NHL caliber lines. Now, after that, it might fall off a little bit. But on the good teams, the top 8 to 12 teams, they would rival an NHL team, I think. And so what's exciting is that a 2-1 overtime win over Tractor Chelyabinsk in Game 5 of the Gagarin Cup, Lokomotiv Yaroslavl captured their first KHL championship. Congratulations to them, with two Utah prospects on board. Danielle Boot and Dmitry Shimashev were part of the championship team. I know that's exciting. And guess who was there to watch? Mikhail Sergachev was there to watch Game 5.
I mean, we knew that was happening, right?
Yeah.
He said it was going to happen. He said he was going to go head over there and talk with them.
Well, not only talk with them, but apparently root them on to victory and watch them win a championship. That's pretty cool, I think.
I mean, if it doesn't say something about the community among teammates, even though they're not officially quote signed yet, I don't know what else does.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool thing. So here's the interesting thing is, Simishev was the 6th overall pick in 2023. Now, both of them were picked in 2023. He's played with Lokomotiv his entire career. And both these guys are huge, right? 6'5" for Simishev and 6'6", I think, for Boot. Man, I tell you what, it's exciting to think about the possibility of these guys skating for the Utah Hockey Club. But here's the interesting thing. We talk about the news, Robyn, is that Dmitry Shimashev is going to come over to North America.
It is absolutely confirmed that he is coming to North America and will put on a Utah jersey, very likely, next this next season. And if that doesn't, get all you guys to jump out of your seats in celebration, I don't know what else will, because that is some incredible news.
Now, Robyn, this really makes it interesting because so he did, and he confirmed it. This isn't me reporting a report of somebody's cousin's brother who overheard it from a Snapchat. This is actually, he confirmed it to reporters that he's coming over. So that's huge. I don't know about Danielle Boot yet. We can hope.
Yet. Yeah.
Right. We can hope. But I think that's awesome. You win a championship. Now you say, hey, I'm coming to North America. This is what I want to do. And you know what? 20 years old, Robyn, 6th overall in 2023. This is interesting because he's young, could go to the American Hockey League, but also if he plays well enough, I could easily see Simishev on the opening night defensive roster. The question is, for me anyway, playing time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather put him in Tucson for a year? And I think defensemen mature much later in their careers than forwards do anyway. I think
that they do.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's no harm to me in having him down there. But this is the conundrum, right? If he's better than, your 5-6 guys, what kind of pressure is there to keep him?
Yeah. At this point, I feel like there is going to be, I think there will be already some kind of pressure to see what role he's going to play in the organization. And you take a look at how well he's been, how well he played in the KHL and how big and powerful he's gotten. A lot of different aspects. It's, there's going to be a lot of excitement. There's going to be a microscope on him in prospect camp and in rookie face-off, right? They're going to see, that's when we're really going to see opportunities. We're going to see him in the preseason. We're going to see all those opportunities. And Utah is really going to test his limits in that, and in these early goings. And they probably will even give him maybe a couple of games, opening night cracks, right? Oh, he'll give him an opening night crack, maybe get a few games, and then kind of see where he's at. Maybe get sent down if he's not up to the standard they want, but he's still going to be right there, banging on the door no matter what. I think that's where the confidence is going to be.
So this is kind of interesting for Danielle Boot because same age. And actually, you know what, Robyn? Let's get into this on the other side of the break. I want to talk about the potential of where these guys might fit into the lineup here, because now the wheels are spinning here. So, all right, let's talk about that in a sec. All right, we're back on the Locked On Mammoth podcast. Thanks for joining us, Tom Callahan, Robyn Leaño here with you. And we always invite your comments and your thoughts, whether it's on the YouTube channel. You can always reach out to us on social media. We're at Locked On Mammoth pretty much everywhere these days. And we love to hear from you. Thank you so much for participating. All the new folks, thanks for joining us here. It's a great time to get on board. And for our everydayers and those long-time listeners, viewers, the ones who were there with Robyn at show 1, as Robyn is going to be on show 800 before we all know it. We're going to blink and it's going to be show 800.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride. I can't believe I've been here a year already. So, but Robyn, the wheels are spinning now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So as a defenseman, Simishev, again, looking at where things kind of fit in with, I don't want to say the bottom pair, because I don't think that's where you want to put that type of player. I think you would rather have them getting 1-2 minutes, or perhaps, don't forget Lammer is another guy we might be talking about next year, but I don't see a world where Sergachev, Durzi, Marino, or Mata play behind him. Cole, I think one more year as a veteran leader. I expect Cole to be in the lineup most of the time, but be really almost half a coach, if you will, out there. Right. Kesselring is again my question mark, but Kesselring's been playing well. and is only 25 and continues to develop, has one more year on his deal, and then his RFA 26-27. But right now, that's your 6. If you don't feel like you have room to crack him into the lineup, because I feel like you need to play Kesselring, I just don't know that starting in the NHL, unless training camp is mind-blowing, is the way that's going to work.
Yeah. And again, and that's kind of like why I said for Simishev, it's really much about the how well he performs under the pressure, where he gets to let 10 minutes listen before the season starts. Because if he shows that, you can that he can be a 3-4 guy at the very least, then they have no choice but to keep him up. But like, it's going to be a huge question of whether or not they can keep how long he's going to be able to keep that up for, and really how the rest of the roster is going to go. And you kind of said it. You would much rather have Simishev play 1-2 minutes on AHL hockey than 5-6 minutes on NHL hockey. Like, it's like, because he's the guy. He's the kind of defenseman that's going to essentially command the blue line, right? It's going to be his blue line in a couple of years. So you want to make sure that he gets that command kind of experience in the North American game. So I think that's and that's where I see where you're coming from. But again, if he just continues to go beyond expectations, Utah has no choice but to keep him up.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting. And that's why Boot is even more of a head scratcher. So think about this. Big. Like, you can't teach 6'6", right? I mean, that's just, you have that.
That is pure Bill Armstrong blueprint, what he wants in a player.
So you get a big, strong forward in there. It is tempting to want to see. Now, half point a game in the KHL, not bad, not great. But good, right? This is not terrible. This is good, and is still 20, still developing. It would be awful tempting in training camp to see what top 6 minutes might look like for Danielle Boot.
It would be
awful
very
tempting.
Oh yeah, no, certainly. They'll definitely test the limits. And again, I feel like that this is why everyone loves the rookie faceoff so much, because it really tests the limits of the rookies, of the younger players, to be able to be like, all right, where can we place you? Where do we see you 2-3 years from now? We're going to place you on those lines, see how you do. Essentially, that's what they do. Obviously, it's without all the vets, right? So, like, you don't have the support of your Clayton Keller or your Logan Cooley or Dylan Gunther or any of those players who have already had their rookie faceoffs seasons ago. Let's see how you do on your own.
Robyn, I'm going to throw this out there as a reward to everybody who stayed to the end of this podcast. This is going to change what Utah is going to do in the offseason if both these guys come over. But especially, we already know we're getting a defenseman. So that's going to change your outlook for defensemen, perhaps in the free agent market. It won't affect the draft, but free agency.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm thinking maybe even more that you just open up the checkbook and you go get Mitch Marner. And while you're at it, maybe you do throw an offer sheet at Matthew Nyes.
That would be good. There are a couple other free agents out there who I think could be very good offers, and I will certainly give you some thoughts. I mean, I kind of already teased some of my thoughts earlier on in this month, but I'll expand on it a little bit later. But a point I really want to make really quick, Tom, and it's just kind of, since we're on the topic of Danielle Boot and Dmitry Shimashev, and more specific on Dmitry Shimashev, because I remember back, when he was first drafted, right? When he was first drafted by the Arizona Coyotes, a lot of like quotes draft experts, who they claimed to be draft experts, they were ragging on the pick. They said it was an extreme reach. They said that shouldn't have been even anywhere near that high of a pick. It was just so many. There was so many. Like, it's like, oh, you just take a look at his NHL league and everything like that. And what's funny was, if I'm not mistaken, I actually had, I think it was our friend Will Scouch on the show and talked about that. And I asked him about it. And it's like, I don't really understand the people who use NHLE as the sole thing that decides whether or not they're going to be an elite NHL player in a few years. Like, it's an arbitrary stat. Like, it really means nothing. And they're right, it really does. It's just like, how do you decide what a player's NHLE is and who goes into all of that? And he loved the pick. He said, I think it's actually a good pick. And I mean, you take a look what he did for his time, as well as Danielle Boot's time in the MHL at the time, which is the second tier to the KHL, and then going to the KHL. I mean, again, there are reasons to be excited.
Absolutely. Robyn, I think that's a good place for us to wrap it up on this particular program. If folks want to comment to us on social media, where can they find us?
Yeah, they can find us everywhere on social media at Locked On Mammoth. You can find us at Locked On Mammoth everywhere. You can find me personally at Robyn_Leaño on Twitter/X. That's where I spend 99% of my time. You can also catch me at Robyn Iceham on Blue Sky. I'm a little bit less active over there, so it might take me a few days to respond to some messages there. But I'll try to get back to you if you message me on there. But I'm more active on Twitter.
And that's why you've got me more active on Blue Sky at Tom Talks. And Twitter is an occasional for me these days at Callahan on air. So between Robyn and I, we've got the bases covered, and we're covering the bases for the Utah Mammoth Hockey Club. We appreciate you all being here. If you like what you heard, tell your friends. The more the merrier as we chug along, and looking forward to a very busy and exciting summer for this hockey team. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll talk to you next time on Locked On Mammoth.